Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at another short Latin story. Now this one's called An Affectionate Fish, which sounds like a weird title, and it is kind of a weird story, but it's a fun one. Again, just something different to kind of break up the monotony of your textbook. So this comes from Easy Latin Stories for Beginners from George L. Bennett. So like I've said before, using Bennett's works, what he calls easy Latin stories are not necessarily what I would call that. It definitely depends on sort of your frame of reference. If you're a teacher, I would say that I tend to use Bennett's stories more in the Latin 2 and 3 groups, that sort of intermediate range. But it really depends when they see like passive voice, different uses of the ablative, things like that. So if you're a teacher, I would say that's probably where I'd peg it. You can kind of pre-read it. If you're a student, I would say if you're in that Latin 2, 3 range, you'll probably be okay. You just want to make sure that if you read through this and you have no idea what's going on, skip it. Don't worry about it. It might be beyond your grammar, right? So if you've had a little bit of Latin, though, you'll probably be able to recognize it. And like I said before, these are really nice ways to kind of break free from your traditional textbook, read some different things. Bennett is using a lot of Herodotus and different ancient writers to talk about mythology and history, or just fun stories, different stories like this one, which have to do with a dolphin, right? Don't have anything to do with history. So either way, use them for what they are, but they're a fun way to kind of break in. Now, like I said, before we go too far into it, in all these videos, I'll read you the Latin from start to finish, then we'll pause the video and kind of go from there. But before we even do that, I would recommend maybe if you're trying to use this to learn, do a pre-read, right? Look up the vocab if you need to, make sure you know what the words mean. And then you want to read it yourself, right? If you can find someone to read it to, whether it's a classmate or just anyone, right, trying to learn Latin with you. Read the Latin aloud. That way you work on your speaking, your pronunciation. And if you can have someone read it back to you, you can work on your listening skills. That's always the best way to do it too. And then if you're actually trying to translate and work your way through this, I would encourage you to use the read and reread method. So read through it once, write down any problem areas you have, then go back, fix those problem areas, right? Try to look them up, and then keep reading it over and over again until you can make it all the way through the story. Not that it's particularly long, but all the way through and that you understand it and feel really good about it. That's how you know you're ready to move on. Okay? So we'll start with the read. Then, like I said, we'll pause the video and we'll translate it together. So the story goes like this. You have olim delphin amicitiam cum puero quodam contraxisse dicitur. Quotidie autem a puero vocatos frustra panis accipieba. In summum aquam venieba, et acceptis frustis, puerum dorso excipieba. Mortuo puero delphin prae dolore mortuus esse dicitur. Okay, so let's pause the video there. If you want to hear it again, not that my pronunciation is anything fantastic, but you can always rewind, listen to it again, and you should try to, say it yourself, read it yourself, and read it out loud. That way you work on it, kind of on your own. But let's dive into it now and see what this is all about. So you start with this. You have olim delphin. So once upon a time, a dolphin, right? The delphin. You have a dolphin there. The dolphin is said, so you have dicitur there. Now, when you have that passive form of dicere, you're talking about like it's said or it's passed down. It's sort of like oral tradition, right? Oral history. So it's said that once upon a time, a dolphin is said to have formed. Contraxisse there. You have the pluperfect. So you want to think of probably is said to have formed is kind of a good way to do it, because it's going with amicitiam, right? To have formed a friendship with a certain boy, cum puero quodam, right? So with a certain boy, a dolphin became friends with him, right? So we're already kind of off into a little weird start. Okay, but then you have quotidie, so daily, right? And the autem there might even be moreover. So moreover, right? Vocatus, having been called, quotidie, having been called daily by the boy, a puero, right? It's talking about the dolphin. So not only did the dolphin make friends with this boy, but every day, having been called by the boy, it accepted accipieba, right? Or used to accept, maybe ongoing action, right? Imperfect. But it accepted frustra panis, right? Scraps of bread. So it made friends with the boy, and every day it would come and the boy would feed it sort of scraps of bread, okay? Then you have the im summum aquam, right? Venieba. So it came to the summum aquam, probably best translated the top of the water, right? It means it kind of poked out of the water is the idea. And, having accepted the frustis, the scraps, or with the scraps having been accepted there, you have the ablative absolute. It welcomed the boy, or kind of, when you say welcomed, it means it kind of let the boy onto, is kind of the idea. Welcome the boy on its back, literally dorso, meaning it let the boy go for a ride, right? Swimming with dolphins because they're best friends apparently, right? Like Flipper or something. Why not? Then you have mortuo puero, right? So when the boy died, or with the boy having died, right? Or when the boy died is kind of a good way to do the ablatives here, right? the delphine, the dolphin. Prae dolore means on account of grief, right? Dolore, or because of the grief. The dolphin, dicatur mortuus esse. The dolphin is said, there's the dicatur again, is said to have died, right? So mortuus esse, the dolphin is said to have died from grief. Okay, so that's it. Just a fun little story about a boy and his dolphin. I don't know anything about dolphins, but maybe this is true, right? You can befriend dolphins. I have no idea. But again, it's just a fun little way of, like I said, breaking free from a Latin curriculum, like a traditional textbook, reading something different, having fun with it. These stories are always kind of fun. And Bennett likes to mix in ones like these that aren't historical or mythological. They're just more short little anecdotes, which is always a good way to just practice your Latin. Okay. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to put them in the comments below. I'm happy to help you, right? If you need help walking through any of this, but otherwise just use it for what it is. Like I said, use it for a break, read something different, and you'll practice your Latin as you go. All right. Keep at it. And like I said, if you